But why did it have to
Call Elon. You better call Elon and say, hey, I got some ideas, Elon. Hey, Elon. Hey, don't rip off my idea. That was my idea. I'll sue you, Elon, if you steal my idea.
Remember that time that Elon Musk sent a super cool red convertible sports car into space, and then it turned out he was a douchebag? Remember that time?
Talking about one of my best friends, and I won't
I think I saw his car recently.
Remember that time that I was driving my route, my very circuitous route to get back home for the second time, and my Tesla said raising suspension based on location because I was in a neighborhood with speed bumps, and I was like, I love you too, Elon. Fucking amazing car. The man can do no wrong.
What does he smell like?
Apples.
The ultimate smell.
Smells like a bushel of South African apples. Which is more American than apples.
He seemed.
I thought you said owls.
He seems like an unsupportable asshole. Like
you go. He's my best friend.
Can I just say that I think the internet's mean to him, and that's not to absolve him of anything that anyone has against him, but it's hard when you're a weird guy in the first place.
It's hard to be visible.
Yeah,
it's called,
and that's again not to give him like too much credit or anything, but we don't want to create. I don't think the Joker.
I don't think the internet is being hard on him. I think the stock market is being hard on him because he keeps fucking ruining
I think
his
we
company.
could really be driving a man off the cliff because it's fun on the internet.
Right. Yeah, you really want to support a system that's like, oh, you're the new car magnate and you made a completely green car and like, oh, you got high with Joe Rogan. Like, we should definitely like punish that until you kill yourself. Like, I mean, like, I don't look.
He seems like a douche canoe until further notice.
Until he does what? He bench presses a nun. Like, my first rhetorical question is, what does he have to do to get anyone's approval? And my second question is, go fuck yourself. Like, who cares if he does that? I'm obviously biased. I am in a healthy way very toxified about I need to move into my Gandalf the white, the extremely white privileged period where I'm like, I got to get over my approval addiction. So that's tainting my view of everything, but in a healthy way. Like it makes me all the more like fucking rabidly like human rights like oriented because I'm like, everyone should stop being fucking ashamed. Like everyone should stop shaming each other. That includes everything that you think you're allowed to shame people for. There shouldn't be any exceptions to that. I'm tired of, it's like we've all been on a big roller coaster ride, and for my money, I've been like, I started here and I fucking whoop-a-doo-ba-doo. And I kind of like, when I think back to the beginning of the podcast, when I was like this boner that like, was like, democracy doesn't matter and you shouldn't vote and all this stuff. Like, I've changed in a lot of ways and I've changed back in a lot of ways. Like the one thing that's come around full circle is I'm kind of like, fuck everybody. Stop telling me to tie my shoes. Go fuck yourself. Like, I got to get out of here. And I would never, ever hurt a person that wanted to just be who they were. Like, I don't want anybody to feel pain.
You're still a boner, Dan.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And now if that's the new definition of boner, I'm like, good, because I spent too much time in the deprivation tank of like thinking that could be the definition of a good person, because it can't. If you are kind of like across the board in favor of everybody being happy, sooner or later you have to accept that that's going to piss a good 70% of people off. And if you're not adult enough to handle 70% of people like being pissed at you, then you shouldn't be bandying about this concept, this supposed position you have. Like you got to nut up, pardon the expression, because some people that don't have nuts or want nuts like are nutting up and like teaching me lessons and being like, yeah, you got to fucking like, it gets bad. Like, you got to handle like this idea that you don't give a fuck what people think, because that way you can have self-esteem and you'll inspire people to go, oh yeah, etc.
Right. What do you think percentage-wise is your
Q rating?
Your global Q right now?
I know. There's 20 people out in the audience here that were willing to pay $10 on a Monday night. I think that's the metric I'll use. like
20 out of like 6 billion. It's
8
pretty good.
billion, yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I'm incredibly biased, but I think like in 2018, I think that fame is a really, really like it's a dangerous thing. I think that if you have no money and you can become famous, like that's a smart parkour move. You could like jump from zero fame and zero money up to fame and zero money, and then with the right twisting and the right circumstances, you could leap from fame and no money to some money. And then my advice is grab that money, hang on to that, and don't fucking use too much fame as your parkour point, because visibility means you're like hanging out there and it's fun right now. I don't want to be like Aaron Sorkin or like my predecessors and be like, this internet, fuck you. I'm saying as a 45-year-old dude who like spent like 30 years being like, hey, look at me. And I want to spend my life online and I want everybody to know what's going on with me. And no harm can come of that if I just commit to that and all this stuff. I'm just saying like we've arrived at a world where like there's so much fame to go around, and it's so like, it's like kind of like helium or some gas that just sort of like, you can be famous for 30 minutes. You can be famous for 20 years. You can be this famous, that famous. It's just but it all has one thing in common, which is that it's like the ratio of safety that it provides to risk that it creates has gone way into, if I was your broker and I was like, don't buy fame, I'd be like, sell, because it could destroy you more than it could help you.
Is there a ratio for you that if you could achieve a certain amount of wealth that you could retire on, divided by or multiplied by the love of strangers? Like how important is it's not fame for you? I don't think you've ever wanted fame.
No, I did want fame because I was like I was like there's no question about it. Like I'm not a victim of anything. Like I absolutely engineered every day of my life. I was like, how can I be visible? How can I make people know my name? Like I branded myself. I am every bit responsible for, it's like every fucking ounce. I put nothing but energy into the idea of people knowing who I am, knowing what I am. I will even go so far as to say like I even like added in these elements of like, oh, he's drunk and he's cantankerous and he's like, oh, he's a tortured genius. And like, I wish that I could have controlled it, every fucking micro bit of it. But it's all ingredients that I aimed at a cauldron and set at a temperature that I was like,
called fame or called attention or love,
obsolescence insurance, called you can't, if I'm a showrunner on an NBC sitcom, you can't fire me quietly. Called like you can't, like I'm Colonel Sanders, so whether you like me or not, my head's on a bucket, and like and that's called tenure. That's as close as we get. It's like, oh, you can't just be like
something. Colonel Sanders wasn't a colonel.
Yeah, and I'm not the whatever the fuck we thought I was. I am a guy that was like, hey, look at me, which is anybody that's like into me is like, yeah, that's why I like you. You've never pretended to be higher than us.
But when you said that you want your name to be indelible and like you want to be everlasting, it's like in that way, like that no matter whether they liked you or not, you were
not for legacy, just for tenure, for job security.
But so it's job security, but it's like
Dick Wolf. Like, where's Dick Wolf? Dick Wolf is here tonight. We don't know.
Oh shit!
Dick Wolf. We don't. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he in a Admiral Pike like thing? Like Dick Wolf. Like he's got 900 TV shows. His name's Dick Wolf. Like you can like Tom Clancy. Hey, Tom, stand up, Tom Clancy. Wait,
Wait, is that what you want, or is that not what you want?
Yes.
You want to be.
And could I also have a different name other than the thing? Like, can I, so that I can stop when I get on Google? Can I stop being reminded that
Is it important to you? And I mean, these are questions that I probably maybe know the answer to because I've known you for a long time, but maybe not. Maybe we never talk about this. Is it important to you that to walk in the street and feel love, or just attention?
I think that might have been important to me at 32. No, it's not. It's not important anymore. I've gotten so much of that drink. Like I love it. Like it's so good. It was so nourishing, wonderful.
When you talk about now, because you keep repeating the idea that you want to retire and go away and disappear, do you think that you've achieved what you wanted out of that?
Yes. Because you can't be 70 and be like, check the dailies. How did I do today? That's not what we want from a 70-year-old.
I don't see any version of you that when you're 70 that's not going to still want to check the dailies.
I think you should have more faith in me. I mean, I don't think you should see a version of me, but I do in my therapist's office. And when I look at myself,
What was so amazing about watching you talk to Norman Lear, who was maybe for me the most intimidating guest we ever had in the show, because he was well into his 80s and he was fit and spry and groovy, and showed no signs of wanting to not keep making television and stuff like that. Like he was just one of those guys. But like you're saying, I would like to just like retire now, but I can't see.
No, but I retire from the visibility thing. Retire from the public, from the.
What does that mean now? How can you?
Well, I don't know. How can you? I mean, like, stop doing your podcast. Stop doing I don't do interviews. I don't want it's.
Yeah, and you said you've mused about talking like not doing Harmontown anymore, which is fine with me. Like I can't believe it's gone on this long. But
yeah, it's been a good run.
But if you stopped doing it, would you miss
play
it?
Fallout 4? Yeah, I would. I'd play.
And I say this with with love and with all due respect. Like I don't know a version of you that doesn't want to walk out on stage and find out that 63 strangers are happy to see you.
I'm sure I would miss it. But it's also like it's not unachievable. Like when you stop doing it once a week as a regular thing that you have. It's Los Angeles. I guess if it's still worth anything and you really missed it, you can always go like, I'm gonna stand on stage next Wednesday and answer questions about writing. Please don't ask, can I have a job? I won't be able to give you one.
I fucked your mama so hard. I fucked her to the north. I fucked her in the mouth. I fucked her to the west. I fucked her in, I forget the other directions.
Oh, look, there's Rob.
Oh, he's burning up with his jetpack.